Some of the things that I've heard are that today's politics doesn't care about ordinary people. Today's politics is only concerned with the whims and concerns of the most wealthy of our country. And the vast majority of us are left out of this equation. And so when you hear folks not advocate for things that you think they should be advocating for, or they don't stand up and fight for things that we know that they should fight for, it's extremely frustrating. And that's really what propelled me to run for this office. Because quite frankly, we've got a 6-year-old who's got to grow up in this world, and I don't trust our daughter's future in the hands of these folks.
What I struggle with is when we have so much influence being dependent on how much money is behind you, it creates this situation where you're going to get the same people over and over again. In our area, some of our representatives have been here for quite some time. And I feel like until we start demanding folks who lead our country, lead our state, lead our city, to have responsibility to people beyond their pocketbooks, we're going to have the same results. We can't have it where only the most powerful are able to say that their voices are heard.
I mean, that's the definition of an oligarchy. So long as you have a government that gives the whole feast to the top 0.001% and then leaves nothing but crumbs for everyone else, what ends up happening is that those folks who are left crumbs end up going after each other. And this goes to the point that they don't actually want to change anything. You cannot change anything significantly without great personal sacrifice. And you have to make that sacrifice with only the hope that things will improve. We'll have people, they're not making sacrifices, but yet and still they want you to sacrifice everything. Tighten your belt. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. They didn't pull themselves up by their bootstraps. They don't tighten their belts. What do? They might take their belt off and unbutton their pants so they can just make room after they just feasted.
Yeah, and that causes folks to just disengage, which is definitely not what we need at this point. We need people to be engaged as much as possible. A vote may not seem like much, but it works in the favor of those who already have gained that power over time and have not done much to continue to earn it. It works in their favor for us to disengage.
But I can understand that. You put your trust in a government that's supposed to protect you, but in the midst of a pandemic, allow 1 million lives to be lost. You put your trust in a government that is supposed to take care of you, yet and still you're uninsured and you're not able to take care of your family. And then you have to sit back and watch billionaires fly into space just for fun and then return, and then you find out they don't even pay taxes.
Yeah.
Right, listen, I understand you being disengaged because you've been engaged and you're like, but what has that done? I believe people do better from one of two things: inspiration or desperation. Let's shift to inspiration. We don't live in a world where we cannot provide universal health care. We can. And that's one of the things that I will do as your representative. We don't live in a world where there's no innovation. There's massive innovation. We don't live in a world of scarcity. We live in a world of financial hoarding, but we don't live in a world of scarcity. There is enough for everyone.
Yeah.
We do live in a world where we can extend the humanitarian arm over the military arm. We do live in the world where we can provide opportunities and resources over incarceration. We do live in a world where we can pay teachers what they're worth. We just have to take advantage of the opportunities that lie in front of us. With my election, I will show that anybody, anywhere, no matter where you're from, can say, listen, I can change the world. Get out there, work their tails off, and do it. We don't have to live in a world of despair where a few people control everything. I mean, that's the world that I am fighting for. That hope of that world is what I sacrifice for. And I know that we can have it.